The grade outline, those are grades and subjects that your school just isn't testing this IA cycle, but they continue to appear in Athena, in your Athena report, because they were tested in a previous IA cycle. So for example, last IA cycle, Hartford Elementary wasn't testing on kindergarten writing or writing at all. So I think you guys only did CMT writing and math and reading. So kindergarten and first grade writing are grayed out, and you can see they're not included in my formula, in my adding formula here. What we've also started doing is, because Athena doesn't remove withdrawn students if they have any IA data from this current year, we have to remove them manually here. So generally we create a list of all the withdrawn students and what subjects they should be removed from. And then we put them here next to the subject that we're removing them from. We've got one column with the student's name, and then one column with the number of students we should be removing from that total. You can see we're removing one student from first grade math, two from these other subjects. So you do have to enter those manually. Those will not be in your copy and paste from Athena. But once you do that once, then you shouldn't have to do it again. So this formula with total number of tests is actually adding up everything in column C, but subtracting everything in column G, because column G is the withdrawn students column. And you can see the formula up here. It's adding up all these C's and then subtracting all the G's. And that is how we come to that 690 number. Test with data, if I double click on that, you can see it's adding up all the yellow cells in column D. And thus, we've got an upload percentage that rounds up. It doesn't have any decimals, so even though they've missed 2 exams, that's still technically 100%. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be sending you this template that has all these calculations once all the exams are published for IA4. And you can run this yourself whenever you want to determine what percentage you are. And one thing that I find that's helpful is, let's say you've got 670 tests uploaded out of 690. You can sit here and manually try to figure out what it's going to take to get you to 98%, which is your goal. So, like, is it 671? No. Is it 672? Is it 673? Yes. So it's 673, I hit 98%, so I know if I'm at 670, I only need 3 more tests to hit my goal. And that can be really helpful and motivating. Are there any questions about this spreadsheet so far?
No, not yet.
Yeah, so I think once you get started with it, feel free to email us with questions. This is the exact tool that we're using when we send you your upload percentage every day. It's definitely not required, but if you find it helpful, definitely feel free to use it. One thing you should monitor is when you've highlighted the totals, sometimes if you get rid of a section or something, your row alignment might be altered from one day to the next. So you need to make sure that all of your yellow rows are still highlighting the totals from the course. So it has this overall, it means it's 3rd grade CMT writing overall, and they didn't actually accidentally get moved up to one section, for example. So I do have some instructions here. So when I send that out, you can refer to that. So moving on to Infinite Campus and Athena data connections, there are several fields in the section at the section level of Infinite Campus that pull into Athena. The first and most important is if there's no IA subject tag, then Athena won't be able to read it. So this has to be here. Otherwise, Athena just won't pull any data from that section. It always pulls the section number, so this little screenshot from Athena is the IA upload report. So the section number appears right here in the middle. It also pulls the room number for some reason. So the room number appears just to the right of the section number. So you can see you've got 601 and 228. It pulls the tier level. And who can remember what the tier level is?
I'm guessing if the deans decide what the tiers of the classes are for, I guess, ability level.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it is ability level, and we did norm around that as a network. So tier 1 is now normal ability level, no intervention required. Tier 4 would be the most intervention required for those students. And generally, there's only one tier 4 per subject per grade. So again, that is optional if your school leadership team wants to tier your classes for further analysis. That's where you would enter that. And then it pulls the primary teacher's name only, which appears here to the left. Pulls it from this primary teacher field. And then the enrollment counts are the number of students active on the roster. Those will appear here. So the requirements for Infinite Campus is the section has to be scheduled. And that means at the bottom of the section, when you see all the little boxes of the periods, if it's not scheduled anywhere, it's not going to appear because Infinite Campus doesn't register that section as happening at all. The section has to have an IA subject tag. Students should not be enrolled in more than one section with the same IA subject tag. Again, it happens a lot. Nothing horrible happens if the student is enrolled in more than one subject with the same IA subject tag. It's just that Athena randomly decides which section to put them in. It won't put them in both. So the student might be appearing in the wrong section in the Athena reports. Withdrawn students will continue to appear in Athena for the rest of the year if they have any previous IA data in the system for the current year. They will never be deleted, so we do have to manually remove them in that Excel spreadsheet when we're calculating your data upload percentage. And then we do frequently get requests where teachers or school leadership wants to view the students in Athena in a different grouping, for example, maybe in an intervention group or a special ed group. Athena groups students exactly how they are in Infinite Campus. So if your school leadership team wants to pull out a certain group and have them just appear in their own report in Athena, what we can do is create some shadow courses in Infinite Campus that will allow us to do that. The shadow course just means it's not a real course going on in your school, but we have to create a fake course in Infinite Campus in order to change the grouping in Athena. So if your school does want to do that, reach out to me and I can explain the process to you. Are there any questions? Nope. Okay, and as I mentioned earlier, if you update something in Infinite Campus and it's not in Athena the next morning, definitely reach out to us because Athena pulls the data every night from Infinite Campus. All right, so we are done with the training. Now is the time if you have any burning questions or if you had any problems with IA4 that you wanted to ask about, definitely let us know. Okay, no questions?
No.
No.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you all, and I'm going to be sending you these spreadsheets within the next week so that you guys can use them to calculate your upload percentage.
Great.
Okay. Cool. Did you learn something new?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yay. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.